Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Who the Hell Asked. Slade and Byron here. Hello, Byron.
Hi, we have a lot of gaming news to cover. Specifically, most of it happened on Tuesday.
Yeah, so without further ado, let's get into it. So let's talk about PlayStation's answer to the crazy Activision of Blizzard. And admittedly, this is not anywhere near that scale. I don't think anybody was expecting that.
Yeah.
But Sony acquired Bungie.
Yeah, for $3.6 billion. And according to the blog here on the PlayStation blog, Bungie will remain an independent and multi-platform studio and publisher. As such, we believe it makes sense to sit alongside the PlayStation Studios organization. So, an interesting acquisition. Apparently, according to a lot of gaming journalists, this deal has been in the works for about half a year now, which is interesting. The timing is very interesting, isn't it, Slade? Considering
I feel like the timing's pretty intentional.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think this deal was in response to Activision Blizzard. I feel like this deal was more in a response to Bethesda, and then Blizzard just happened to happen when it did. That's my feeling.
I'm with you there. I think it's convenient it happened right after Blizzard, but
yes.
It's more along the lines of, like you said, Microsoft acquired Bethesda last year, so yeah. Sony kind of wanted to make their own acquisition of a third-party studio. So yeah. Bungie makes a lot of sense.
Mm-hmm.
There's already a ton of, PlayStation first exclusive stuff included for Destiny 2.
Yep.
And whatnot.
Yeah. And
it's just kind of interesting when you think about it in the scope of Bungie because they worked really hard to get away from Microsoft, so they went running to Activision. Then they worked really hard to get away from Activision to go independent, and now they're with PlayStation.
Yeah, because Bungie didn't want to make a Destiny 2. Activision was like, no, you have to make Destiny 2. And a big reason that Sony acquired Bungie was for their world-class expertise in multi-platform development and live game services, which will help us deliver on our vision of expanding PlayStation to hundreds of millions of gamers, because there's been murmurings that Sony wants to make live service games. So this is I would say a pretty good acquisition for that if they wanted to make a live service game, because Destiny 2 is a pretty popular live service game.
Yeah, for sure. And I think for them creating a live service platform kind of like comparable to Game Pass, this would be a good place to start.
Well, so, and games like, Fortnite, Destiny 2, because Sony has made purely single-player games up until this point. So, really good stuff for Sony and Bungie overall. Yep.
I kind of wonder how the Bungie employees are taking it, because again, you think that they've worked so hard multiple times to escape these large publishing studios.
Yeah.
Controlling everything that they do.
Yeah.
Only to find, again, they're under the thorn and nose of another one.
Well, hey, look, they're probably like, hey, this is better than fucking Activision.
That's true.
like this is probably better
than Activision.
Yeah, this is probably better than Activision.
Especially considering all the stuff that came out about Activision over the past few months before the Microsoft acquisition. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So but yeah, obviously if anything happens with this, we're gonna keep up with it. But yeah. Will Sony acquire someone else? Find out on this episode of Gaming Acquisition Z.
Oh yeah. Just keep in mind, Sony doesn't have the money that Microsoft has to throw around.
Yeah, they don't. So, they don't have the quote meme war chest.
Yeah, so this is actually a pretty big deal that they did acquire Bungie. I don't know if they're going to be able to acquire too many more companies outside of this. So
yeah,
just something to consider. All right, so now let's talk about the Probably the biggest news of the week, because I honestly don't think that was
Well, hold on.
actually.
Well, we
Hold up.
got an announcement of a new IP from Yacht Club Games.
Oh yeah, how could I forget?
Yeah.
Mina the Hollower got a Kickstarter started. It is a 2D Zelda-like.
Yeah, like think Link's Awakening DX.
Yeah, or A Link to the Past or the Oracle games and whatnot. Like,
Yeah, so
I'm honestly pretty excited for it. I've already donated $60 to the Kickstarter myself.
to this one?
Yes.
Oh my, you madman. You madman. So you are at least in the digital art book tier.
Oh yeah. I mean, a lot of people don't know this about me. My favorite Zelda game is A Link to the Past. I've always loved 2D Zelda games, and this one looks interesting and fascinating enough for me to want to give it like a legitimate shot.
Yeah, so this was announced.
Obviously, we only have a little bit of footage. Go ahead.
Yeah, so this was announced during their Yacht Club Games Direct. This was their quote megaton announcement. This is Yacht Club Games' first game that's not Shovel Knight, because they have been going ham on Shovel Knight.
Yeah, that's what they were excited for, to see them kind of like trying out different IP and different styles of games. Because don't get me wrong, I love Shovel Knight, and Shovel Knight games are pretty incredible.
Yeah,
but it's really nice to see something different from them.
Yeah, I need to play Shovel Knight at some point, because I've heard it's really good. But yeah, so currently, as of the time of us recording this, it is well doubled the goal. So the goal was $311,503, which is apparently $1 more than what they got for Shovel Knight, which that's kind of funny to me.
Yeah. Well, I imagine now that they have a lot more reputation as a reputable developer and whatnot.
Yeah.
They're getting a lot more people backing them because they know that they're going to get a good product that's also finished and whatnot.
Yeah, $610,270 from 10,827 people with 27 days to go. Yeah, because this was announced, I believe the same day as the Bungie acquisition. Now, some people were like, why Kickstarter? Why does this need to be Kickstarter considering Yacht Club Games ain't poor no more? They made buku bucks off of Shovel Knight. They actually explain it down below here, past all this cool little 8-bit art and all of the rewards that you can get, including the physical game starting at least the $100 tier, of course. But why Kickstarter? Compared to the original Kickstarter, we're not in dire straits. We're financing a majority of Mina the Hollower's development internally. Main reason to launch the Kickstarter is to build a brand new universe in the same way we did our first game, Shovel Knight, with our community involved in creating something special along with us. Every backer that joins development will help make a more robust game. Because I'm like, why a Kickstarter? I find the reasoning still a little bit like, because there are ways you can...
see, that's where I'm at too. It's like they obviously don't need people to back the game, so that's why I would like say we should post a like Kickstarter and like, unless you really want to donate developments. I personally donated just because, one, I wanted some of the extra stuff that you wouldn't get normally by buying the game, but also because it is pretty cool to like donate to like Kickstarter projects and then have your name like included in the game itself. It's like one thing that's also really cool.
Yeah,
but
like,
also the main thing is I feel like they're more accountable to you.
Yeah, that's true.
When you put your money into the project. So
yeah, that's true. And if they're able to add more stuff to the game, then I guess that's a valid reason.
Yeah.
To also Kickstarter.
And again, Yacht Club Games, they're a reputable company. They've done a fantastic job with the Shovel Knight series. There's no way they would tarnish their reputation by going on Kickstarter, stealing everybody's money, and then releasing a half-assed project. Like, that's just not who they are.
Hopefully, like, because it took them, what, like 6 years just to get all the all the stuff out for Shovel Knight, including the promised, like, backer goals, like the extended goals. Hopefully they don't go too crazy there with that, it seems like they're not. But yeah, this ain't
To be
coming
fair,
out.
I think they're a much more established company
Yeah.
nowadays with the better routine for developing games, whereas compared to Shovel Knight, that was like literally their first game like ever.
Yeah.
So like
So what do you think of the estimated delivery date, which is December of 2023?
as I said, excited. I think 2 years is definitely a pretty decent time, especially because like this is like a pixel art game. This isn't like some modern day like fucking like AAA game or something like that. It's pretty neat. I think they get to spend a really good portion of time on developing the game itself, and it'll be a pretty good game when it comes out. As I said, I have a lot of faith in Yacht Club Studios. So
Yep. So now we're gonna get to the thing Slade has mentioned, and that we personally have been waiting almost 3 months, if not exactly 3 months, for this. Ladies and gentlemen, we have sales numbers from Nintendo.
yeah, so let's go over some of the stuff. Let's first talk about the not the units for like the individual games, but let's actually talk about the Switch itself because it hit a very important milestone.
Yes, it
The
did.
Switch itself, as I'm sure many of you have heard, has finally outsold the Wii at 103 million units sold, 103.54 to be exact.
Yep.
It is now the best selling home console
Yep.
in Nintendo's history. So
Yeah.
that's pretty huge.
Yeah, absolutely. Outselling the Wii and outselling the PS1. Which that's also a pretty big thing to overcome. Yeah, that's a lot of units.
Oh yeah, what that tells me is they sold what 28 million unit Switches this past quarter or something, or like 16 million or something like that.
Yeah, round 16 to like 20. Still pretty...
Yeah, so obviously their sales are only slowing down because of the semiconductor
shortage
situation.
Absolutely. Do you think... Oh, I know it. Yeah, it does. Do you think it hits Game Boy? Do you think we get to Game Boy?
I do, actually. I do think it eventually hits, because Game Boy is sitting at 118 million units sold, I think, all time, if I'm not mistaken.
118.69. Nice.
Yeah, I would predict we would probably see around 130 million units sold for the Switch lifetime.
Yeah.
If they don't come out with a new console. I think there's a very strong likelihood that we might be only halfway through the Switch's total lifespan.
Yeah.
So, because of that, we could actually see probably another 50 million units of Switches sold based on, what hardware comes out or what software comes out over the next, 5 years.
Yeah.
And if there's any, packaged bundles that are must-have.
Yeah.
Because I know the Switch benefited a lot from Pokemon Legends Arceus, for example, last week. There's a lot of people who bought it just for that game. There's a lot of people who, buy it for a lot of games that come out, like Animal Crossing, the Mario Kart, Smash, and the past.
These numbers, Slade, keep in mind, these are only from December, the end of December.
Yeah.
We don't even
have January numbers.
Yeah, we don't have We're not going to get those till I think April or May. So, but that will be interesting. Let's take a look at the top selling individual units. Obviously, Mario Kart still fucking reigns supreme. Followed by Animal Crossing, Smash Bros, Breath of the Wild, Pokemon Sword and Shield, now the second best selling Pokemon games of all time.
Yeah.
Mario Odyssey is still on there. Super Mario Party still going ham, 17.39 million units. Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl selling 13.97 million units in a month. Holy shit.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive, but I think that's more on par with what Sword and Shield did as well at the time.
Yeah.
I think Sword and Shield hit somewhere around 11 to 12 million.
Yeah.
And I don't think that Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl are going to get too many more sales because it's also got another Pokemon game directly competing with it right now.
Yep, in Legends Arceus. But
so I imagine we're going to see that peak around 17 million units,
yeah.
I think, for the next quarter. I think And we could talk about this a bit later.
Yeah.
Pokemon Legends Arceus sales were posted separately on Nintendo's Twitter.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. We will get to that in a moment.
We'll get to that in a bit, but overall, this tells me that Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is still selling a ridiculous amount. I think it's 8 million units sold over winter break. 'Cause I think we were at 38 million last time or something.
Yeah, and throughout all of 2021, apparently Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl was the only new Switch game to surpass Mario Kart 8 in year sales.
Yeah.
And
for anybody who's still holding on to Mario Kart 9, I mean, Mario Kart 8's still selling. It's 5+ million units a quarter. So,
yep. And
sorry, folks.
Probably the biggest shocker. We have a new number 10 for top 10 on the Switch, and it's called Ring Fit Adventure. At 13.53 million units, it cracked the top 10.
That was surprising to me, actually. But makes sense. I kind of feel like it's the Wii Sports of the Switch. Not in terms of it being a Wii Sports game, because obviously it's an RPG that's based off fitness.
It's more so like Wii Fit. Than Wii Sports, but
it's definitely the most successful Switch kind of gimmick type game currently on the platform.
Yep, absolutely. It's insane how good that game has been doing. And then of course, we have the explanatory material, including the fact that playing cards is still the only thing that has grown year over year for Nintendo, which I will continue to point out because it is always funny to me. We'll never not point that out. Mario Party Superstars sold 5.43 million units in 2 months.
That is correct, which is a pretty big deal. Obviously, I don't think it's on pace with Mario Party Super.
So actually, that's where you're wrong. So apparently, only by 200,000 units, but Super Mario Party, when we got its first sales numbers, was at 5.2 million.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So not by much, but Superstars is outpacing Super Mario Party by a little bit, but we'll see
what that looks like lifetime in a couple of years for sure.
Yeah.
But that tells me that at the very least Mario Party Superstars was successful enough for Nintendo to realize these older style Mario Party games are what the fans really want.
Yeah. And we got Switch OLED numbers. Almost 4 million Switch OLEDs.
Which is actually pretty underwhelming, but
yeah.
That they counted those as part of the Switch's total sales, which makes sense. It's obviously the same platform, right?
Yeah,
it
makes
the
sense.
Switch sold 11 million point 6 copies.
Yeah, 11.79 million units of
7.9
of regular Switches. Metroid Dread did pretty well as well for a Metroid game, 2.43 million units.
Which is, I think, the second best-selling Metroid of all time right now after
I think
Metroid Prime.
Yeah, which
I think that's correct.
Yeah, which I think that did 2.8, I think, something like that.
And obviously those numbers are going to grow over time, but it's nice to see Metroid in a really good state again.
Yep.
It's obviously never going to be Nintendo's hard-hitting, top-line selling franchise, but it'll be the next best thing. It certainly did pretty good compared to what you see from another franchise that's never been Nintendo's top line, Zelda. Yep. Skyward Sword HD only topping out around 3.2 million units.
Yeah, 3.2 million units. Yeah, I would think that's a bit underwhelming, but
for a Zelda game, definitely. But it does make sense. Skyward Sword was kind of the poorly received 3D Zelda out of all the 3D Zeldas, I would say, because of the motion controls. Even though they took those out, there's also a little bit of controversy involving the Skyloft amiibos, which I don't think that factored too heavily into people's purchases of the game. Factored into my purchase of the game, but I mean, I'm one person, obviously. I don't think that factored too heavily into the casual market as a whole.
Yeah, and if you want to know more about that, we did cover that in a previous episode of Who the Hell Asked.
Yeah, so Metroid and Zelda still doing pretty well. Top line shelf, not quite obviously Mario or Pokemon or anything like that.
Yep, digital sales continue to make up 40.2%. A little lower than last fiscal year, but not by much. Digital sales still booming though.
Yeah, I imagine a lot of that's the holiday seasons where you see more physical copies of games being bought and whatnot compared to digital.
Yep.
Because people are going to start buying things for their family members, loved ones, their kids, etc.
Yep. I love this page right here. Announced Nintendo products. 2. We only have 2. That's Legends Arceus, which that's already out. And then we have The Boy, Kirby.
Turbo.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
For January to March.
Yeah.
So, that looks a little bare. Just bear in mind, it says between January and March. Obviously, it doesn't have the entire fiscal year.
Yeah.
But that does bring up a point. Nintendo doesn't have a whole lot brought up for
they do not. Which and the prediction train has started for people. People are like, okay, when's this next Nintendo Direct?
Yeah, and February is pretty standard for them for the most part.
Yeah,
so
February is
gonna
be likely. I hope it's not on my birthday again, like it was last year, because I actually have plans for my birthday this year.
Oh, so you don't want to Direct as a birthday present?
No, because it would fuck up my streaming plans that day. But yeah, so we got some other smaller sales numbers. Big Brain Academy, Brain vs. Brain sold 1.28 million units. So it's kind of cool.
Yeah, that's pretty neat.
Game Builder Garage barely scraping 1 million. That game underperformed probably.
Well, I wouldn't say that. I don't think anybody thought Game Builder Garage was going to be the next big fucking hit. I don't know, maybe people in Nintendo did, but 1 million sales for any game is still a successful game, even if that doesn't mean a continuation of the series or interest. I mean, Nintendo got to make millions of bucks off of fucking cardboard, so...
Oh god, yeah, that era. WarioWare Get It Together got 1.24 million units, and but yeah, that is all. And of course, we have the big launch. We have Splatoon 3 coming up, Breath of the Wild 2, Mario and Rabbids, Bayo 3, Prime 4, Advanced Wars 1 and 2 Reboot Camp, Triangle Strategy.
If you believe rumors, Mario Kart 9.
Yeah,
I'm personally of the team it's fake.
Yeah. Prime 4, Temp. But yeah, so those are the sales numbers. And speaking of sales numbers, Slade mentioned this earlier. Legends Arceus sold 6.5 million units.
Yeah, keep in mind the game hasn't even been out a week yet.
Yeah, not even
As the time recording this video, it has been exactly 7 days.
Yes. 6.5 million units in a week is insane.
Yeah, this is... For Legends Arceus, this means that it's actually keeping pace with the Pokemon Red and Blue version in terms of sales after a release, which is obviously a pretty insane stat considering no game sold as much as Pokemon Red and Pokemon Blue. So.
Yeah, Gen 1 still the best-selling generation.
Yeah, now do I think Legends Arceus reaches the heights of Red and Blue? Obviously not.
No,
I don't know anybody who would think that. But that being said, obviously, I think this will end up, outpacing both Sword and Shield as well as Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. I think it's just incredible what a little bit of ambition does to a franchise that's been stagnated for over 20 years.
Yeah. God.
And sold, in spite of that. So
yeah, this is wild numbers right here. Everything we got today were wild numbers. And, yeah. Jeez.
Yeah, I think this was probably the most shocking numbers was Arceus.
Yeah, and they just tweeted it out. Like... And they just tweeted it out. So, like, it wasn't even those financial numbers, but yeah, Mario Party Superstar's doing well. Metroid Dread getting that Switch bump.
Yeah.
And we got OLED numbers. But yeah. Speaking of Nintendo, Slade, there was one other thing that involved Nintendo this week.
All right, so let's talk about some unfortunate stuff because obviously we love, talking about Nintendo sales and whatnot. For those familiar with the copyright striking issue, GilvaSunner, some YouTuber that posts a lot of, Nintendo music as well as video game music in general, received, I think, over 1,030 copyright strikes.
Yep. 1,300 copyright blocks from Nintendo. The YouTube channel received another 2,200 at the time he tweeted this. So that's 3,500 different blocks. And he said, yeah, after thinking about this, the channel's gone today. As of today, when we're recording this, on that Friday, it's done.
Yeah, so it's pretty unfortunate.
Gone. Yeah.
I think that's his second channel because he was initially known as Silva Gunner.
Yeah, and I think
maybe and whatnot, and that channel died as well.
Yeah.
So, pretty unfortunate overall. Nintendo still doesn't understand that people only do this because they don't have their music available for people to purchase or listen to anywhere.
Yeah, they and like in a way I get it because oh god, I think it was T-Pain a while ago revealed how much artists got paid per play on platforms, and it was peanuts on most of them. Most of the big ones, peanuts. Like actual peanuts. So in that way it's understandable, but it does suck cuz people love Nintendo music.
They do.
Yeah,
and it's ridiculous that again, there's nowhere to find this music.
Unless you import this soundtrack CD from Japan that only has part of the actual soundtrack.
Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous. So
yeah, but there's
obviously we're all saddened by the news. But...
yeah, but there may be a possible wrinkle from Twitter user Soul Scribbles. They went in depth on this, and they said when Nintendo actually takes down videos with a copyright claim, they simply put Nintendo as the copyright holder, and they have this image here. Nintendo doesn't say which company. They always strike it with... Nintendo doesn't say which company. They'll always copyright strike with Nintendo Co. Limited, Nintendo of America Inc., or Nintendo Japanese symbols if it's a real copyright claim by Nintendo. Here's an example of an actual claim on an NFT game, which is funny considering there were other NFT news this week that we decided wasn't big enough deal to cover. Fucking worms. Fucking meta worm. Goddamn Team 17. These fake Nintendo takedown claims seemingly go all the way back to 2019, and they're responsible for things like the Beware of Forest Mushrooms takedown. And GilvaSunner posted some emails back in 2020 of some of the claims that he got, and it's a lot. It's a lot, isn't it? Imagine Slade waking up and having hundreds of emails like this.
Oh yeah, that would suck. And again, that's going to crash the channel and whatnot. But this isn't actually Nintendo.
Yeah, so we don't know if it
might be able to dispute the claims, but
yeah, we don't.
In the end, whether it's really worth it or not, it's its own beast.
And Gilva believes at this point in time that it's just not worth it, which I would agree with at this point. Even if the claims are fake, which we're not sure if they are or not, I'm just providing you all the information that it may or may not be real or fake, but. Even so, it's not worth it. 3,500 claims. I don't think it's worth it. I don't think it's worth it after that. But what do you think of this whole situation, Slade?
I mean, it just sucks. Like I said, it's not like Nintendo provides a way for people to listen to their music. Obviously, people wouldn't upload their music to YouTube or any platform if Nintendo themselves were already doing it. They clearly aren't. So... it's just the whole thing's sad. It's really unfortunate.
Yeah.
But there is some news of Nintendo providing some of their music. It's not even Nintendo, it's the Pokemon Company.
Yes, I forgot to link it. But yeah, there is Pokemon Sound Library. The
That's
Diamond and Pearl
correct.
Sound Library. Yeah, like Pokemon music is now fucking, it's here. It's fucking here. Like, yeah, because the Pokemon Company tweeted about it. The timing couldn't have been more hilarious, considering. But yeah, there is the Diamond and Pearl Sound Library. All the music you love from the original Pokemon Diamond and Pearl, available to listen to and download for use in personal video and music creation. Yeah, this dropped out of nowhere, didn't it?
Oh, for sure. So, I guess they're doing, the bare minimum here. I guess after Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearls release, they've released some of those tracks. Good for them. Obviously, they still have a long way to go.
Yeah.
In regards to
like actual Nintendo music, because Pokemon Company's always been like, all right, cool, yeah, sure.
Yeah. So
yeah.
All in all, Nintendo's in a really good spot right now. They finally outsold the Wii, and Switch has only been out for about, what has it been, like 5 years now? Came out in 2017. It's now 2022.
It's gonna be it's gonna be 5 years here real soon, actually.
Yeah, that's crazy considering that those are the Wii's lifetime sales. So obviously, the Switch has still got a bit of wind in its sails.
Yeah, it's got some legs.
So I imagine we'll see that continue to pick up. And again, with the semiconductor shortage, I don't think we see whatever the Switch Pro or the next console is from Nintendo for quite a while. So
yeah, I think we still have a few years of regular old Switch OLED. Maybe we get like a Switch OLED Lite or Switch Lite OLED.
Yeah.
But yeah, overall, it was a poppin' news week for gaming in all kinds of aspects. But yeah, that will be it for this episode. This has been Byron.
And this has been Slade.
And we will see you all next time. Bye-bye.